Hey, welcome to Short Commute, the podcast for people who don't have much time on their hands. My name's Nick Griffith. I am your host. We've got a great show for you coming up today. It's going to be awesome. We have Adam Starks. I'll tell you more about him in just a second. Bringing us in was Mike Manns and the Branches. Great song there. Adam's an awesome guy. He's a public speaker, just a generally brilliant man. You guys are going to love this discussion. Check out his website, check out his app. Cool stuff. All right, so here's Adam Stark.
American exceptionalism is spread throughout the world like the gospel. I mean, it just is. And we're exceptional at some things, but not things that are beneficial to humanity. And what I mean by that is, what do we export?
War.
Lots of guns, lots of weaponry. We have the most desired weaponry in the world.
With great technology.
Designed for killing people.
Yeah.
and so people want that, countries, but it's usually deranged sociopath men, running countries and want more power. And we say, how about these F-35s, and give us, $50 billion. We funnel that to the big five defense contractors that have, I think it's 400 lobbyists to every congressperson. And so that's not going to change. And so, and the way they get away with it, at least in my understanding, the way they get away with it is you preach as a State Department and, all of the USAID and even the U.S. Peace Corps, we're out there preaching American exceptionalism. My name is Adam Starks. I am the founder and CEO of Mender, which is a youth and family support system in the form of an app that will connect them to the social services and mental health or telehealth things that they need.
Oh, that's awesome. That's actually a subject that, my God, full disclosure, like I ended up on like working for, you're talking about stuffy cubicle and stuff. I was working for Wells Fargo for a while. They drove me crazy. I had post-traumatic stress, like so much anxiety, depression, all that shit. And so I'm well equipped to navigate health insurance. I have family that works in healthcare. My wife's in healthcare. I have resources. And I had such a difficult time finding the practitioners and people. And I just can't imagine what you do when you can't even start. So it sounds like that's what this app is. What was your inspiration for starting it?
Well, my lived experience in the foster care system. I mean, the unfortunate reality is when I aged out of the system, I was cut off from all services. This was 25 years ago, by the way. 1998, I turned 18. I'm no longer a ward of the state in Virginia's foster care system. Yeah, you remember when you were 18, right? You had all the answers to life. You could go out there with no support system and make your way. You were going to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You were fine, right? It doesn't work that way. So, many people don't know this and don't talk about it because there is a lot of good work being done out there, and you don't want to demotivate people in the child welfare space. But the success rate for foster youth was 3% when I aged out of the system. You fast forward 25 years, it's still 3%, which is a pretty dismal. So when I talk about success rate, I'm talking about self-sustaining. You're holding down a job. You break the cycle. You're married. You have a family. The white picket fence. The 2.5 pets and 3.5 kids or whatever. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way for most people because when you're dropped off, you kicked out on the doorstep at age 18 and you're cut off from all resources, you're not likely to succeed in this kind of winner take all society. And so, or dog eat dog, if you will. And for me, I got lucky, even though I ended up
Mhm.
homeless before college, I'm quote unquote successful.
Oh gosh. Oh, shoot. Wow, that's sticky. Oh, hey guys, Nick here. Over the years, I've had a lot of fun designing stickers for various projects, comedy, this podcast, Bullrog videos. But then you gotta print them. There's a lot of places to choose from, but recently I've been going to Sticker Mule. If you have some stickers or really pretty much a ton of stuff, t-shirts, button charms, magnets, all kinds of custom items that you'd like printed, I've got a deal for you. Click the link in the show notes and you're going to get $10 credit for your first order at Sticker Mule. You're also going to help me get $10. Thank you so much. Please, if you're smart or only want a short run of stickers, you can wait until they offer the 10 die cut stickers for $1 deal that pops up. But their prices, they're really so low and quality is high enough that you might just want to jump in the deep end and do a whole order. These stickers are beautiful, they're high quality and sticky. Sticker Mule, check the show notes.
But the rate of success is, holding down the job, like I said, and not letting anything go wrong. Not a rapper or a star athlete or anything like that. So what our society depicts as success, right? Um, to get back to your question, what motivated me to do this? I feel like I feel compelled because I'm not, highly religious, but I feel compelled to reach back and give them what I was afforded. I was one of the lucky ones. Despite what I went through, I was one of the lucky ones because I was able to go out, uh, publish my autobiography, land keynote speaking engagements, and make a little bit of money along the way, telling my story and inspiring others to keep going. Um, However, it just wasn't enough. It really came down to people asking me, "How do we recreate your success?" People go on about their day and they don't really care about the statistics. The 600,000 youth in juvenile detention centers in our country, the 500,000 youth in the foster care system, or the 10 million youth that are deemed at risk due to being below the federal poverty level. I've always saw myself as a catalyst, someone who can look at someone and say, all right, this person has that talent. They really should connect with this person because
Yeah,
I
I
think
have.
they would be amazing together. And that's essentially what Mender does is
Oh,
it
okay.
orchestrates the social process, because right now what's happening is so many people are doing excellent work out there, whether it's out there in Southern California or right here in rural West Virginia, but they operate largely in silos. They're not talking to each other. All of it is well meaning, but when we're duplicating services and resources like that, we're still missing the mark,
Yeah.
and people have to come get those services and they don't even know that they exist. If they don't have
Yeah.
Facebook, if they don't have access to internet or broadband, it's unlikely that they even knew about it in the first place. So that's a huge problem because the people who need the services, their services are available, but they are continually, and they meaning the at risk or at risk youth or poor families who are in need, they continue to fall through the systemic gaps
Yeah.
despite plenty of resources being available. And so what Mender does is it takes all of that and says, okay, it puts it at the press of a button. So if they need help with food, all right, now they're going to type in their zip code and they can find the closest soup kitchen, food pantry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that I couldn't have done that by myself. So that is
Oh,
powered
wow.
by findhelp.org, which
Okay.
is based in Texas, and it's a wonderful organization. And they have an app and everything, but it's only as wonderful as the people who can access it and who will
Yeah.
use it. And so there's a branding issue there, there's a marketing issue there, and Mender fixes that because I'm the one going out and advertising and saying, hey, this is available just for you. It's always free to youth and those families in need because they don't have disposable income, right? It doesn't make sense to charge them. And believe it or not, there's
Wow.
over 2,500 apps that are geared towards youth mental health and wellness.
Okay.
And many of them charge a fee. Whether it doesn't matter if it's $9.95 or $19.99, people don't have the money to pay for that. And
Yeah.
if they do, they don't give a damn about their mental health because they're in constant survival mode. You're
Yeah.
not going to take time to meditate and do yoga if you're don't know where your next meal is going to come from. I suffer from depression.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain what I'm going through to
Yeah.
someone who's happy-go-lucky. Why
Yeah.
can't you just be happy, Adam? You're blessed, right? You have a beautiful, brilliant wife and children, and you have a roof over your head. You have food to eat. Why can't you just be happy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And without getting into the details, now imagine someone who doesn't have all those things
Right.
trying to explain to someone who is fortunate. It's hard to, there's a huge empathy, not just a compassion gap, there is that, but there's a huge empathy gap being able to understand that
Yeah.
person's needs. And technology can bridge that gap, and that technology is available. And so what I'm doing is partnering with multiple companies and piecemealing app together with application programming interfaces or APIs and putting all of that together in one bundle. So at the touch of a button, the person who needs something, even domestic violence shelters or even job training
Oh,
or even
wow.
transportation, they can press that button and that triggers something on the mender side. A mender being a person who heals. That person can say, I want to help at the press of a button,
Oh,
and that
wow.
triggers the process. Mender.com and .org. If people want to donate to my mission, I'm starting with kinship families, and that's family that steps up to take care of children instead of putting them in the foster care system. So my organization is going to start there. That's mender.org, and then mender.com. You can find out more about the app.
All right, that was Adam Starks there. Great talk. That guy's such a smart dude to talk to. Great ideas. The Mender app just sounds amazing to me. Coming up next, we have our track to take us out. That's RX Bandits and Apparition. Love this song, RX Bandits. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for Short Commute. Thanks to Adam for being a guest. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure you're checking out the show notes. You're liking, subscribing, following my guests, because this show is much better because of them. And I'm at Fake Nick Griffith. You can follow the podcast at Short Commute at most socials or www.shortcommutepod.com. And if you're looking for me, I will be performing on the 23rd at Flappers in Burbank, 9 p.m. That's going to be in the Yoo-Hoo room. So check that out. Get a hold of me. I can get you discount tickets. Thank you guys so much, and you have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time on Short Commute.